Hey gamers, it's grindthisgame here with a review of Green Project. This is kind of like a 2D pixel art game. I've got about 35 hours into it, into this save. I'm gonna give some tips at the very end of the video that might help you out if you're starting from scratch. But this is gonna be more a review, what I thought of the game and whatnot. So let's get into it here. The premise, you're this. You get to pick a male or female. The premise is you land on this planet, and it's when you start out, it's a barren wasteland. It's like, it's kind of like this. There's no green, there's no grass. Well, there's a little bit of grass. I'll show you what it kind of looks like before. You can zoom in and zoom out with tab. It doesn't look like this. This has been mainly terraformed, but I'll go over here to the left where it's a little bit more barren, and you can get an idea of what it used to look like. Let's see. Yeah, over here. This is kind of what the game looks like when you start. It's, ignore these trees here, but it's more like this. There's a bunch of dead trees and bushes. So the main goal of the game is to repopulate the planet with trees. There's like a tree counter here. I got 509. And also kind of, I guess a goal is to try to remove all these poison puddles that appear throughout the game. I've gotten rid of most of them. I'll try to show you some here. There's some way over in the east. But I'll kind of review some other stuff here. So, yeah, you start out, you've landed on this planet, it's barren, and you're trying to fix it up. The controls in this game are pretty good. The basic WASD. I haven't played it with a controller, just keyboard and mouse. It's pretty good. It is a little bit clunky. I'll say the controls are a little bit clunky. When you're interacting with things, like, let's see here. Like these things here. If you want to get these compost going, you have to hit B for your backpack. If you have the thing on your hotbar, it's okay, but let's say these are the things I want to put in. Like here, you got to double click here to get it kind of active. Or drag it into your hotbar, but I usually just double click. Now that it's being held, and you can see what's being held here in the bottom right, you have to right click to feed the items in. You can hold it down and it kind of feeds all 5 items in. Left click is to kind of interact with items. You start off with this house, but it doesn't have much in it. I put a bunch of storage and stuff in here, but it starts out with a cooking thing, and that's and a workbench, and this, I think this lab you start with as well. So some of these workbenches, you click on them and they open up and you can see the recipes, and then you actually form the recipes by dragging stuff in here. Like that. If you want to make many, it's not too bad. You just put bigger stacks and then you'll be able to make a bunch of stuff. There are many things to make in this game. Quite a few things. This is one section here. Do it yourself. There's farming. Just to give you an idea here, there's farming. There's animal husbandry, so you can catch animals with traps. You can fence them in, and then you can kind of breed them. So there's that. There's bees and honey you can get as well. There's raw materials. You'll be making a lot of this stuff. So you'll turn like logs into planks and stuff with a saw. So you put the log in here, and you put your saw in here, and then you hit the little thing to make some of it. And it actually takes time. Maybe I'll try to make something here. We can make a box of nails. We need iron, hammer, metal file. I'll quickly go grab that. The file, keep in here. So we'll put the hammer in. Oh, I'm missing the hammer. Hammer. Oh yeah, to get things out, it's shift click. So shift click, shift left click. And then the metal thingy. So it's going to take 30 seconds in game. So you'll see the clock in the top left kind of goes by. And as you're doing this, your hunger will go down and your thirst will go down, as in you'll need to drink and eat more. That's kind of like the top left here is your health. It's weird that it's at 70 all the time. That's kind of like the highest value that I've found. Your thirst slowly goes down, your hunger slowly goes down. And there's this poison mechanic. This just continually goes up until the very end of the game, where I think you can unlock some stuff that blocks this. And then you're also got your tired meter, so you kind of sleep at night. I recommend sleeping it through the nights because it's too dark to see anything when it's night out. Okay, so what else do we got here? The controls, yeah, pretty clunky. The sound is generally good. Sound effects are good, except there's a few things that are like super loud. So this workbench here, let's see, let's put something in here. Actually, that one, I have them turned down quite a bit, so they're not so loud right now. But the chickens are a little bit louder than everything else, and the cat that you unlock kind of late game, it can be really loud. The cat, if it's meowing near you, it's like super loud. And that sound you're hearing is the cat killing things off to the left here. There is a bug. I've only found a couple minor bugs. There is a bug with the sound when the cat kills things. If let's say the cat might have been over to the right, but you hear the sound to the left, that's a little bit weird. So, sounds good. The music, there isn't much music. It's just kind of this ambient sound that you're hearing now. And some games, the music is just so monotonous and repetitive that I turn it off after a couple of minutes. But this didn't really bother me. But it's really basic. It's just this kind of ambient sound that keeps going on. So yeah, music, pretty good for what it is. The graphics are pretty fine. I mean, it's a pixel game. It's not like pixel art game. It's not fancy, and it's fine. I'd say it's average. Good to average. Like I said, there's only a couple bugs I found. There's a funny bug here with, this is a male character. Actually, it's a female character, but it becomes a male character if you put a hat on. I think that's a bug. I'm not 100% sure. Now, the game came out in 2020. It was a little bit rough at first, and then they did a bunch of bug fixes, and it got to a pretty good state. And then the developers seem to have abandoned it in 2022. They are allegedly working on another game similar to this, but better and 3D, I think, or basically better. It's supposed to come out next year. I haven't really heard much about it. Some people were pissed off about that, but there's a good amount of gameplay. There is no technical ending that I know of, but there are some pretty big overarching goals and things that you kind of do. So like there's this thing here. There's 4 stages of filling it up with different items. Right now I'm on technically stage 2, even though it says 1 out of 4. I guess you have to do a bunch of stuff to get it to this point. And then you have to feed it a bunch of dead rats and chickens and pigs. And then there's stages after that I've actually never seen, except in other people's playthroughs. There's the cat. Oh my god, it's loud. Run! Stay away from the loud cat. Here's some animal husbandry going on with chickens and stuff. But yeah, so it was abandoned, but I think it's still worth playing because there's pretty good gameplay. There is quite a bit of exploring to do. There is no map per se. You can zoom out with tab to see a little bit more what's going on. There is a map kind of here though. So we're in this hut here, and there are other areas to explore off to the right, top left. There's basically a town below us. But these areas are initially locked off. I'll have to show you off to the right here what I'm talking about. So you're pinned in at the beginning by all this gray or purple goo. Let's see if I can find some. The way you extinguish it is by planting trees. Oh, there's some over there. There's a little bit over here. Let me zoom in here. So this stuff, if you stand on it, you pretty much die instantly. It is, later on it gets harder to see if it's behind grass and stuff. So be careful. If you die, there's no real major repercussions of dying, but it's kind of annoying. Okay, so yeah, the price for the game right now is around $7 Canadian, which I think is around $5 US. It's for the amount of money you pay, I think it's a decent value. Maybe get it on sale if it goes on sale. So price is probably pretty fair. The gameplay is good. The game loop is good. Early on, you're just kind of maintaining your food, your water, and your health, and you're trying to keep this poison meter under control. There is a very rare plant that you need to get early on to make a tea to make this stuff go down. It's this time tea, which takes 20 of the poison off. But you'll slowly see this creeping up. So you gotta, initially, early on in the game, you'll get this time tea, and There's other things later on like wine you can make. This is really late game, but wine will remove 50 poison. There are other things you can remove poison with, like this total curative. Some of these fancier drinks like the Dead Revival and the total curative, those are found farther off on the map. Okay, so yeah, overall I think the game loop and whatnot is pretty good. So you maintain your health and water, and then you're trying to unlock new areas by planting fresh trees and getting past. Like this little road here used to be blocked by this purple ooze. And then I opened it up and I was able to explore off to the right here. There's some similar stuff off to the left. Oh, there's some goo I haven't cleared yet. So this was originally goo all the way down here, and I planted some trees and was able to pass it and get into this house, which had some stuff to unlock. Early on, some of these houses are quite dark, and you'll have to make a firefly headlamp. And you get fireflies by planting flowers. They're in these little blue bushes, I think. So that's kind of the review portion of the game. What else is there to review? It is a grind, for sure. I would say the game is moderate difficulty in the beginning. And then at some point it becomes incredibly easy because you have like an established forest. Established forest where you just have basically endless food and water. So it becomes incredibly easy and just more of a grind near the end to like just keep expanding the green trees and whatnot. Okay, so overall I would give this game probably a 6 out of 10. It's good. I enjoyed it, and I will still probably keep playing it to try to see what else there is. There is a bit of a backstory, and there's like some lore and stuff here. That's kind of ugly to read, but yeah, so that's the review portion. I wanted to talk about some tips, though, that might help you out early game and mid game and then late game. So let's see here. You want to plant a bunch of trees early on, and you won't be able to plant anything early on until you cut down some of the dead trees. So as you're cutting down dead trees, there's a chance that you'll get a seed from the dead tree, which will allow you to plant a new tree. So here's some of the seeds here. We got maple seeds. I think there's 4 or 5 different types of trees. Maybe 6 actually. There's maple seeds, cypress seeds. I forget which each one of these is, but here's the big tip. After you've planted a tree and it's grown up, early on you can go around and use your scythe to like individually chop each piece of grass or like little cluster of grass. But here's a neat trick. If you cut down a fully grown tree, and you know it's fully grown if it kind of disappears when you walk behind it. So we'll chop this tree down. I got a really good axe, so it only takes 2 chops. You'll see all of these white things, which are... what are these? Cotton. Cotton's pretty rare early on. With just 2 chops, that tree going down, it cut down all the cotton for us, so we have to just go around and pick it all up. I don't think I'll pick it all up. But you get the idea, like, if you let a tree kind of grow up, you can save yourself a lot of energy and tool use. Tools get worn down pretty quickly, so you won't have to go around and like chop each individual cotton. You can just chop down the tree, and when you chop down a brand new tree like that, you get 2 seeds back. So we got 2 maple seeds out of that. You're left with a stump. I'm gonna chop the stump up, and then you use your hoe to clear the ground. Let me switch over to that. Right there. And then once it's been hoed, you switch to some seeds, and then you can plant a new tree. So that one's growing. It's hard to see, but it's underneath all that grass. I'll do the same thing over here for this one here. This is a cypress right here. It should, once it falls down, all these red mushrooms should come up. Yeah, there we go. So mushrooms, some of the regular mushrooms can be used for food. The red mushrooms are used in other late game recipes. But a really quick way to get a lot of stuff without a lot of effort, basically. And every time a tree is fully grown, you probably want to go chop it down and replant it, because you're going to get 2 new seeds that will let you go plant even more things out farther out, like up here. Like if I wanted to make this all green now. To plant a new tile, you need fertilizer, this NPK stuff here. And then you put a new seed down. I don't know exactly how long it takes for the tree to grow up, but I think it's about 3 to 5 actual days in the game. Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. Here's that magical plant you need for making the teas. It kind of looks like this. Each type of tree has special things that grow around it. So this, I think this is elm. Elm will grow things like thyme around it. But I think it also spawns little beetles which eat the thyme. So you want to plant some cypress close to your elm that spawns little lizards that eat the bugs that eat the thyme. So you kind of get to learn like which each tree makes and which ones mix well together. And as they grow, they kind of make the area around them more and more green. And then later on you get some more exotic plants like this one here, which grows grapes around it, which is pretty cool. So if I chop down this one bush here, I think it's gonna, yeah, it lets all the grapes come up. This one is called, oh, I'm petting my cat by mistake. This one is called the hawthorn seed. It comes later on, you don't get it right away. There is a crow that comes by every once in a while and poops on the ground, and you can find exotic seeds in the bird poop. Okay, so some more tips here. Water. Early on in the game, you'll probably want to build at least 2 or 3 water catchers. Let's see here. Go down to the house where I got some water catchers. Here we go. You'll start with one indoors that will be full of water, but then you can, early on, you can make these ones that hold 3,000. So you probably want to build 2 or 3 of these, because it rains about once a week, and then these all get filled up. And then every week after that, randomly, there's some randomness, these will fill up. There's also a well to the bottom left that you can get to later, which has water in it. So that's water. You definitely have to keep drinking or you will die. Let's drink some water here because we're getting thirsty. And eat some food. I got some food here. Food does rot over time, so you got to eat it fairly quickly. This stuff right here, the boiled nettles, decays in 3 days, so eat that up. Most food, if it's uncooked, will have poison. So you can see this one's gives 20 poison, so you don't want to eat that until you cook it. We could do some cooking here. We got some nettles going on. Let's boil some nettles. To cook, you need to keep wood on this pile here. We got some meat over here. Some roast squirrel, delicious. Let's eat some of that up. The nice thing about the eating mechanic in this game is if there's calories left over, it'll turn into a half-eaten pile, and then you get the rest of the calories out of it. Same with if it has other attributes. You'll get to whatever's left over, you can drink. So this one with the little eyeball, this makes me less tired, so let's drink a bit of that. So it went to 38. Higher is better. Okay, what other tips do we got here? I recommend exploring the outer reaches as much as you can early on, and then plant trees early on to start clearing out blocked areas. So the right side and the left side, you probably want to plant trees early at, because this whole area is blocked off originally, the steel work. This is all blocked off, so you want to plant a tree there early on, because it takes time for the tree to grow, and then you'll be able to get in here and see all this stuff. I'll go in one of these buildings here. A little spoiler alert, maybe. They're really dark, so you can't see everything in them until you get the light. I'll just put the light on here. So there you go. You can see more of the stuff in here. And remember to take your light off, otherwise it'll just use up all its condition. Well, what else do we got here? Talked about chopping the trees for 2 seeds. The cat is something that you unlock. He appears like mid to late game. There is a little cat box you can build, but he appeared before I built the cat box, so I think it's triggered some other way. He's really loud, but also he will murder everything that's living on the map. There's usually lots of lizards and squirrels and other things running around the map. They're all dead because he's gone around and taken care of them all. There's a bug over here. We can watch him kill a bug. Let's see. He's probably gonna kill these bugs. Yeah, there he goes. He'll kill them and he'll often eat them. Yeah, there he goes. So I wouldn't unlock the cat until you actually have lots of food sufficiency. Because here he's killed a squirrel here. This is the remnants of a squirrel, the guts and the skin. Or you want to follow him around and pick up all the meat. There he goes again. Oh, he's going to eat that squirrel he killed. Yeah, he'll eat a lot of food. Okay, other tips. There's some mutants you can make in this game. Let's see if I can find them. These things, the Radis and the Pigus. These guys, if you try to contain them in a wood fenced area, they'll eat the fence. So you need the stone fence to actually keep them going. Here's the wood fence, but you need the stone fence, I think, to really keep them contained. Okay, what else? The water holes. If you take your pick and you dig once, twice, 3 times, it'll make a hole. And when it rains, this will fill with water like these have. And there's 672 water in them. And they will slowly leak water into the surrounding things here. So if I use my hoe on this, see how it went dark? It's used up some of the water from this pool. So when you're planting your food, it's really worthwhile to make a little system like this. Then you only have to water the inside. We'll take our watering can, grab some water, and put it in the hole. So that watering hole will keep these fed. So it saves you from having to water each individual plant. Pretty handy. I'll grab some seeds real quick here so you can see what the planting is like. I don't want this video to be too long, but let's grab some... What do we got here? Let's grab some grapeseed. The grapes grow naturally, so you don't really have to plant grapes, but if you want to have a bunch of them, so double click there, get them in your hand, and then right click. These take a while to grow. The other nice thing about these watering holes is when it rains, they all fill up. So, yeah, you won't have to, when it's raining, you won't have to water your plants at all. And then when the rain has stopped, all the holes will be filled and they'll slowly trickle water. You'll still, during the dry periods, you'll still have to come and fill these up, but it's pretty good. I recommend making lots of composters early on. The version 2 one acts faster, but I don't think it's worth building. I built one just to try it out, but the cheaper version, the standard version, is probably fine, because you feed it all up and then you walk away, and after a lot of time they poop out some fertilizer. One last, or I don't know if this is the last tip, but when you're using your tools, they take wear damage, and if you let them go to 0 condition, you have the chance of sustaining an injury, which is a real pain in the ass, because it lasts forever until you fix it. And while you're injured, everything takes like double the number of actions. So if a tree took 2 hits, now it'll take 4. And it's slower. All your actions are slower. So being injured is really a drag. The only way to cure it is with a bandage, which I've moved here somewhere. Where did I put my bandages? Over here, I think. Let's see. I recently reshuffled my inventory. these bandages. And you make a bandage with aloe vera, which is really rare early game. Like I was struggling to find some. You need 5 aloe vera to make 5 bandages. You can't make just one. So here's the recipe. You need 5 aloe vera, some nettles, some cloth, which is really rare early on, and then the mortar pestle, which is pretty easy to make. So you don't want to let your condition go down. So keep an eye on the condition of your tools. When they get close to being completely used up, you can chuck them on the ground like I did from here for some early tools, or you can sharpen them. So like this hammer is not quite used up, but I'm going to repair it anyway. Actually, let's swap this out. Use a sharpening stone to repair it. I probably don't recommend sharpening the tools early on, the version 1 tools, because they wear out so quickly. It's cheaper just to make a new one. So if you look at the tools here, let's see here, a scythe. You'll be going through tons of scythes early on. So to repair one takes a repair stone, sharpening stone, but to make one initially, if we can find it here, only takes 8 branches and 5 stones, which is really easy to get. Really, really quick. Unfortunately, there is no way to destroy tools that I know of, so I did end up just chucking them on the ground here. There is an incinerator that you can make, but you can't put tools in it, unfortunately. So that's kind of the way I got rid of my tools. I think that might be it in terms of all the tips. Yeah. So yeah, pretty fun game overall. To sum it up, yeah, I give it about a 6 out of 10. I got, so far I got about 35 or 40 hours of enjoyment out of it. And I'll probably be playing for, I don't know how much longer, until I get through this goal here. And until I clear off all the nasty gloop. But I don't think there's there's no grand ending, I don't think, where you blast off or anything like that. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully it's useful in your purchase decision. And there's the cat saying goodbye as well. And we'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.